Thanks for watching News Channel 8, recognized by the Associated Press as Oregon's best newscast. News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
The tough task under tough conditions as Egypt air crash investigators try to retrieve the plane's black boxes.
I have been told that this is a very challenging part of the ocean.
Fixing the legal glitch, now threatening Microsoft after a judge finds that it's a monopoly.
Microsoft is committed to resolving this case in a fair and responsible manner.
And the surprising battle America's troops are forced to fight at home. The enemy is poverty.
I think we've got 4 pieces of bread, so lunch today is going to be an interesting thing.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News, reported by John Siegenthaler.
Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with the search for the black boxes from the crash site of Egypt Air Flight 990. A Navy recovery crew, hampered by bad weather off the northeast coast, spent much of the day waiting, but finally resumed the search, and strong radio-transmitted pings indicated they were close to their target. NBC's Jim Obla joins us tonight from Newport, Rhode Island with the latest. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, John. A frustrating day at sea today. Rough weather again making it difficult for a sustained search of the ocean floor. Now, the Navy did get its ships back over those black boxes, but still, they can only hear them, not see them. Waves 7.5 feet tall, 60 miles out to sea, in the crash zone. Just calm enough for the Navy's USS Grapple to again put the deep water drone back in the ocean. Another ship, the USS Whiting, finishing its work today, mapping the ocean floor with side-scan sonar, identifying precise shapes to be investigated. But the black boxes remain elusive, their clear pinging echoing in the deep.
The news this morning is not favorable.
The chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board says he's watched the recovery mission from the decks of the Grapple and knows how difficult the high seas and ocean depth make the operation.
I have been told that this is a very challenging part of the ocean.
But Hall is confident the boxes will be recovered since their exact location is known, below 2 small debris fields.
They're right on the pingers, but they have yet to see the recorders. So I'm just hopeful, that's all.
Rhode Island diver Bill Campbell has made frequent trips to the ocean floor near the crash site, 250 feet below the surface.
I've been diving where the available light of the sun was able to light up a large section of the bottom, and other times it's almost pitch black.
The Navy says in this case, the search site is so deep there's no sunlight, and visibility is less than 6 feet. Campbell has his own remote-controlled submarine, smaller and less sophisticated than the Navy's. These pictures of the ocean bottom were taken on private dives near the crash site. He says the seafloor is sandy, and with lights, the wreckage should be easy to spot.
I think with the aircraft, the aluminum material, the white and the red colors would be very visible.
On shore, victims' families taken by bus to view the small amount of wreckage recovered from the ocean's surface. It was a private moment.
They wished that they could get the body of their both carriers, and they had hope that they could find the whole body. But from what they saw and from what I see, I don't think any complete body will come out of this.
The Navy says that if they don't find the black boxes tonight, the next clear weather they expect is not until Monday afternoon. John?
NBC's Jim Obla, thank you. Now to Microsoft's battle with the Justice Department and yesterday's preliminary federal court ruling that appears to be a major blow to the computer software giant. A federal judge found that Microsoft is a monopoly and that the company's actions have hurt consumers. Today, a reaction to the ruling and what it could mean for Microsoft, which we should note is a partner of NBC in MSNBC. NBC's Dan Lothian now on reaction to the court action in Microsoft's corporate hometown.
In Redmond, Washington, home to Microsoft, Friday's findings a stinging indictment splashed across local newspapers. But Stephen Roush, a Microsoft employee, not worried, convinced with time his company will prove it's done nothing wrong.
It was expected, but I think that everyone's just going to continue to work day and day, and the right facts will come out.
The facts for now detailed in 207 pages, harsh language from Judge Thomas Jackson. Microsoft enjoys monopoly power. Regarding competitors like Netscape, IBM, Compaq, Intel, and others, the findings said Microsoft took actions that could only have been advantageous if they operated to reinforce monopoly power. Regarding the impact on the public, the judge said many of these actions have harmed consumers in ways that are immediate and easily discernible. Neil Struther, a technology writer with Seattle area online service Anchor Desk, surprised more by the judge's language than his findings.
But I think he wanted to send a message. I think he wanted to, let it be known that Microsoft was not going to get off easy in any way. The final outcome, though, is yet to be seen.
Still, round one goes to federal prosecutors.
In America, no person and no company is above the law.
Technology is a highly competitive business, and Microsoft's dominance is beyond dispute. Chairman and Chief Executive Bill Gates says his company has benefited consumers.
Microsoft is a company that operates within the law and operates in a way that is great for the people we develop software for.
So what happens next? The judge must decide punishment. An extreme scenario, breaking up the company. A decision is still months away. Another possibility, a negotiated compromise. Washington Senator Slade Gordon says anything can happen.
It looks to me like we've completed the bottom of the third inning, and Microsoft is behind 3-1 or 4-1. But there are many more innings to go in this ball game, and it's likely to end up in the Supreme Court of the United States.
Competitors, some of them gloating, are waiting for the next move. Microsoft will only say it's committed to resolving this case in a fair and responsible manner. Dan Lothian, NBC News, Redmond, Washington.
Now, federal law says an illegal monopoly exists when one company is so dominant that it almost has total control over the marketplace and can shut out its competitors. NBC's Rick Davis looks back on some prime examples.
Monopolies formed in this country with the growth of manufacturing and transportation. In the late 1800s, railroads merged to control vast stretches of the country. J.P. Morgan and a few other financiers ruled much of the economy. Then, in 1890,
the first major antitrust statute was passed, the Sherman Act, and that was designed to deal with a lot of the anti-competitive practices that some of the growing monopolies were alleged to be engaged in.
An early target was the growth industry at the turn of the century, oil. John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil controlled 90% of the U.S. market. President Theodore Roosevelt called Standard Oil executives, quote, the biggest thieves in the country, unquote. In 1911, Rockefeller was forced to break up Standard Oil after the Supreme Court ruled it was a monopoly. The same year, the American Tobacco Company was found guilty of controlling the tobacco market. During World War II, Alcoa was accused of controlling aluminum, so the government actually sold its plants to Reynolds and Kaiser. In 1969, IBM was charged with monopolizing the computer market. That case was dropped in 1982. But that same year, AT&T agreed to spin off 7 local telephone companies after the government charge had monopolized local and long-distance markets. In the fast-moving high-tech age, antitrust cases are growing more complex.
You can make a good argument that the antitrust system is somewhat like someone riding a bicycle in an age when sports cars are sailing by.
The finding of facts in the Microsoft case should be a warning to others in the high-tech industry to be very careful of their business practices. Rick Davis, NBC News, New York.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, the safety concerns at a Tennessee plant where nuclear materials are handled. And later in focus, American soldiers struggling to feed their families.
Thank you. This is what I need.
Yeah, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead.
Right.
Is anyone getting
If
this?
we don't pay you a commission every time we trade, what's your motivation?
It's just like always, Ann, your best interest.
Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolios. So when we succeed, they succeed.
You'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
Look at all these laxatives. They all contain stimulants. That one says it may cause cramps. Only Phillips is stimulant-free. Nothing's more effective, nothing safer.
So I've heard. Phillips, safe, effective relief without harsh stimulants.
Can you believe it? My husband, Nolan Ryan, has arthritis. So his doctor says stay active and take Advil to make it easier. I take it for my arthritis pain, so we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain. This is how the world feels when you have dry eyes. But now there's new Visine Tears with a unique Tears formula not found in other leading brands to make dry, scratchy eyes feel moist and comfortable. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out.
Every kid knows, if you want to make the big leagues, you better eat your Wheaties. And every dad should know, whole grain Wheaties may help prevent cancer. Numerous studies confirm a low-fat diet rich in whole grain foods like Wheaties may reduce the risk of certain cancers. So when he does make the big leagues, you'll be in the front row. 100% whole grain Wheaties and new Wheaties Raisin Bran, champions in the fight against cancer.
To questions of nuclear safety now, the Department of Energy has ordered the temporary closing of a plant near Knoxville, Tennessee, which manufactures components for nuclear weapons. The story now from NBC's John Palmer.
Operations at the uranium enrichment plant at Oak Ridge were temporarily shut down because of what federal officials called inexcusable lapses in safety and security.
There were problems with security clearances lapses. Workers didn't know how to handle nuclear materials. The contractor wasn't doing its job. So it's serious. Now, the good news is that we're correcting it.
The uranium enrichment operation was halted temporarily after workers failed to follow guidelines in handling nuclear materials and equipment during a practice run.
These are serious issues. The important thing, though, is that no nuclear materials were involved at the time of this test, so there was no danger to workers, to the public, or to the environment.
At the request of federal officials, Lockheed Martin Energy Systems, which operates the Oak Ridge plant, has removed 3 of its managers and is carrying out a complete safety review for remaining employees. Nuclear watchdog groups warn that the problems at Oak Ridge are not isolated incidents.
There have been dozens of safety and security problems throughout the nuclear weapons complex over the last decade. And what is disturbing is that the safety problems continue.
The accident earlier this year at a uranium enrichment plant in Japan, which exposed several workers to radiation and caused evacuations from the surrounding area, prompted President Clinton to order a complete safety review of all U.S. nuclear facilities. The Energy Department has given Lockheed Martin 1 week to produce a detailed plan for correcting the problems at the Oak Ridge nuclear facility. In the meantime, Energy Secretary Richardson said today those problems may delay the delivery of some weapons and nuclear material to the Department of Defense. John Palmer, NBC News, Washington.
The federal government announced a crackdown today on telemarketing fraud. The FBI estimates that fast-talking scam artists steal between $40 and $60 billion a year, and more than half the victims are over 50 years old. As part of this new effort, every household in America will soon receive postcards with tips on how to avoid being ripped off. And a website where complaints can be filed is already up and running. The address is consumer.gov. A telephone hotline is also planned. A quick program note now. The war of words between the White House and Congress is a key topic tomorrow on NBC's Meet the Press. Clinton Chief of Staff John Podesta will be one of Tim Rustert's guests. At Chicago Soldier Field today, a public memorial for pro football legend Walter Payton, who died of cancer Monday at the age of 45. Current members of the Chicago Bears football team offered flowers in tribute. Thousands of fans joined the Payton family and friends in a celebration of his life.
The death of Walter Payton saddens us. The death of Walter Payton reminds each of us that it is not the quantity of our days, but rather the quality of our days that really matter.
Walter and I truly feel blessed to have been a part of the Chicago Bear tradition. And I just say God bless all of you. Thank you.
Earlier this year, Walter Payton was a candidate for a liver transplant. As it turned out, he would have been too sick to receive an organ had one been found. But during today's memorial, one of his teammates urged the audience in Payton's memory to consider giving the gift of life. When NBC Nightly News continues, soldiers who need food stamps.
What's tough? Your third grade teacher. A surprise visit. Your daughter's true love. Those greasy dishes? They're not as tough as new Joy Plus, the toughest joy ever. It's a rich green liquid gel formula so powerful and long-lasting, just a little cuts through your toughest stuck-on grease. So you use less than ever. So what's really tough? New Joy Plus. Now tough enough for your worst sinkful.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. Your size 10s feel like 2s.
FiberCon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
FiberCon, be regular, be yourself.
I need strong arthritis relief. I want soft skin. Now I get both.
Introducing new Arthricare hand and body lotion. Fast relief of minor arthritis pain plus special skin softeners. Arthricare lotion. Pain relief plus moisturizers.
All in one.
Well, looky here. $1. Must be my lucky day. But is it really worth it to bend down and pick it up? It's only $1 after all. You can't buy anything good with that. Of course. I forgot about 10-10-220. All calls up to 20 minutes are just 99 cents, and only 9 cents a minute after that, with no monthly fee. Well, I guess $1 really is worth something. Hey, I saw it first.
Dial 10-10-220. Sunday, 1 year from election 2000. The Gore Bradley race tightens and George W. faces new scrutiny. Plus Bill Bennett's guide to our kids' schools. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
In focus this evening, poverty in uniform. It's the result of military pay scales which are so low that enlisted personnel with families are living hand-to-mouth. NBC's Frederica Whitfield has our report.
Thank you. This was
Breakfast time at the Conklin House in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. A military family of 4 living close to the poverty level. The pantry is emptying, and payday is still another week away.
I think we've got 4 pieces of bread, so lunch today is going to be an interesting thing.
Always challenging duty for Tracy Conklin, trying to manage on her husband Jason's weekly U.S. Army pay of $410.
But I only had a little bit of juice.
A little bit of juice, 1 egg, flour, and milk. All purchased with government-subsidized food vouchers.
Let's start with whole milk.
A fact of life for military families all over the country. Wages so low, 24,000 servicemen and women qualify for public assistance programs. Here at the Quantico Marine Base, many enlisted military families like the Bradshaws stretch their $1,100 monthly incomes with food stamps and vouchers like these. And they're not alone. Nearly 43% of active duty troops have trouble paying their bills. Lance Corporal Antonio Bradshaw is a first-year recruit living on base supporting his wife and 2 young children on just $13,200 a year. Federal figures say at least $16,700 a year is required to keep a family this size above the poverty level.
Government assistance is really helping.
And so is Lisa Jones, a Marine wife whose mission is to help struggling young enlisted families where government programs don't. At her own expense, Jones collects used furniture and offers it to the needy.
Eggs are cheap. It's still giving us what we need.
She also brings together young military wives for basic training in budgeting and nutrition.
taking on her tires. And
Single mom Lance Corporal Crystal Curry needed help finding cheap new tires.
Does it feel better driving? Yeah, actually a whole lot better.
Joel says poverty in uniform frustrates her.
This is not a military issue. You know, these are people's lives. I mean, people that are fighting for this country. Bureaucracy has no place in this.
While the average civilian with a high school diploma earns $479 a week, the average low-ranking enlisted person living on base with his or her family earns less than half of that, $230 a week. The Pentagon admits it's a tough life.
We think it's regrettable that people in the military do qualify for food stamps, but it's more a function of their family size than of military pay.
Last month, a 4.8% pay raise for military personnel was signed into law. It takes effect January 1st. One of those who led the fight for it, Congressman Neil Abercrombie.
The last thing we want to do is have the military turn into a kind of alternative welfare system.
So, military families like the Bradshaws and the Conklins will get pay hikes between $13 and $19 per week. An improvement, but still not enough to get them off government assistance. For the first time in 20 years, an across-the-board increase that narrows the economic gap between civilians and those sworn to protect them. Frederica Whitfield, NBC News, Quantico, Virginia.
The way it is and the way it was in Iran.
People breed dogs. Some people breed pretty dogs. Other people breed tough dogs. But every once in a while, one of those tough dogs hooks up with one of the pretty dogs. Introducing the new, redesigned 2000 Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Tougher, prettier.
With Transamerica Investments and Insurance Products, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be financially successful. The people in the pyramid working for you.
What a close call with my overactive bladder. Having to go suddenly, needing to go so frequently. But that time, I almost didn't make it. Vets did it. I asked my doctor about Detrol.
Overactive bladder is a medical condition. Today's prescription Detrol is proven effective to treat it. Detrol helps control bladder contractions that cause those sudden urges. Detrol reduced bathroom visits by 2.2 times in 24 hours versus 1.1 times with placebo. 1.2 fewer wedding accidents occurred with Detrol versus 0.8 fewer with placebo. Similar decreases over 24 hours. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Detrol. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Some others may include dry eyes, headache, constipation, and indigestion.
Enjoy the movie?
Thanks to Detrol.
Ask your doctor about prescription Detrol, proven effective to treat overactive bladder.
At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for retirement that'll help you plan for your next career. The people in the pyramid working for you.
To Iran now, where the U.S. has been scorned as the great Satan for the last 2 decades. The passions remain, but as NBC's Keith Miller discovered, there are signs of change as well.
The symbols of Iran's 20-year-old revolution are still easy to find. And suspicions about outsiders, they remain too. Friday prayers at Tehran University are still packed with the faithful, but something here has changed. The chants of death to America are gone now. 2 decades later, Iran is on fast forward. Women are pushing back the veil. The struggle today is about democratic values, and young people are leading the way.
Something like that, freedom, democracy, and we are trying to get it.
The growing impact of youth is apparent. 2/3 of Iran's 70 million people are under 25.
The sheer weight of young people in Iran who are saying, we don't want to be hermits. We don't want to be cut off from the world.
President Khatami is leading the reform. His goal, under the watchful eye of religious hardliners, is to expand civil liberty within an Islamic society.
In many ways, the future of the Islamic Republic will be decided right here in the holy city of Qom, where up to 30,000 students are in training to become the next generation of mullahs.
Ali Al-Kabarani is one of those mullahs, and he is trying to reconcile tradition with a rapidly changing world. He's putting 3,000 volumes of Islamic law online. Signs of change are evident elsewhere. Movie makers have more freedom. Social satires are allowed, but serious political commentary remains off limits.
I want to live in Iran.
Okay, cut it.
Iran today, an uneasy mixture of the traditional and the modern. A society secure in its faith, less certain about its future. Keith Miller, NBC News, Qom, Iran.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, her subjects down in Australia decide if Queen Elizabeth is still the one.
home furnishings by Living.com. Room designed online by Clive Sirkin, Psychic. Introducing Living.com, home furnishings and design ideas to express your personal vision for the home. Living.com, your home, your design.
You have smooth, beautiful skin, waiting to be revealed. Jergens Skin Smoothing Lotion with beta-hydroxy to gently exfoliate and smooth your skin. Jergens, it nourishes your skin.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now Bayer may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
We ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days, and it helped both of us lower our cholesterol 17 points. You'd think we want to eat something different after 30 days of oatmeal. But you know what they say?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Quaker oatmeal warms your heart and soul.
To build the new LeSabre, we didn't just look to research numbers or test scores. We also took a good look at your family. Introducing the all-new 2000 LeSabre, re-engineered with more safety features than any other car in its class. The new 2000 LeSabre by Buick.
Sunday on Today, Meryl Streep on her inspiring new movie, Music of the Heart. And our most delicious series ever, Foods of the Century, continues with delectables from the 30s. Sunday on Today. It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
Finally tonight from Australia, a victory at the ballot box for Queen Elizabeth, whose throne is 10,000 miles away. But does it really reflect a vote of confidence for the monarchy in a nation that seems to favor becoming a republic? Here's NBC's Kiko Itasaka.
From the Australian outback to the inner city, a majority vote, 55%, to retain Queen Elizabeth as Australia's head of state.
All of us are deeply humbled by the confidence that the Australian people have shown in our country, our Constitution.
Surprising results in this multicultural and independent nation with diminishing ties to its colonial past.
We know that we were once a British colony, but we are not anymore.
Recent polls showed that 90% of Australians say the monarchy has no meaning to them. But then why this vote to keep the Queen? Because Australians hated the alternative more, a president appointed by Parliament instead of elected by a popular vote. And that made Australian politicians, not the British Crown, the focus of the vote.
Australians are deeply sceptical. We have skepticism, especially when it comes to politicians, that we're too dubious about giving them that amount of power.
While the Queen, strangely enough, was a bit player in the melodrama.
Well, certainly the Queen as such hasn't come into it.
For the die-hard monarchists' satisfaction, their ties with the mother country are still in place. 45 years after her first royal visit to Australia, Queen Elizabeth still reigns.
My fellow Australians.
But anti-monarchists of all types are not going quietly. At this Bye-Bye Betty party, they're promising to get rid of Queen Elizabeth next time there's a vote. Kiko Itasaka, NBC News.
And that is NBC Nightly News for this Saturday. I'm Chad Siegenthaler. Thanks for watching. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.